Yeah, it's a good weekend. Another W in this. Is that a good thing now as you get to this point in the season to keep getting that kind of work?
We love competition, and we love having a lot of options in that wrestling room for competition. And it's getting that time of year where, we're needing to be healthy, and we are healthy. So good stuff happening.
There have been a lot of battles with Minnesota over the years. Is there a duel up there in Minneapolis or a road trip or anything associated with this duel that kind of stands out or a memorable one for you?
The memories for me are with Jay Robinson as a coach. A lot of respect for that guy. He was one of the very few, if any, that never took it personal. And we were nose to nose more than once in a friendly way. And a lot of respect for him. I said that already. And then, throughout the years, Short and McAravey, there was some spirited, one-on-ones. They had some good teams. They won national championships as teams. And but we're not talking about the past. We're talking about driving up there and getting on the mat with them on Friday night. And let's get ready to go. Got to have fun, compete with some pizzazz, and keep building.
You talk about health, people getting healthy and having options. Nelson might be part of the or could be an option this weekend.
We have a lot of options. We have guys getting healthy. When we have two guys at a weight, then we're going to consider all options. And sometimes, things are in your control. And sometimes things are out of your control. And so we got to take advantage of the things that are in our control when that happens.
You talked the other day about hitting on all cylinders. What is it what can you do?
We have to score match points in the first, second, and third period in bushelsfuls.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a bushel is?
Yeah.
Iowa farmers. Bushelfuls.
Has that been the message to those guys this week?
It's always
this.
Yeah.
At 141, where's kind of how's that competition setting with Paul Ryder?
We have all options on the table. We like all of our guys there.
I wanted to ask you about Spencer and what he's been able to do internationally. What have you seen in the way he's approaching right now that is any different?
Spencer Lee's approach has not changed. Remember, before he came to the University of Iowa, he's a 3-time world champion. Cadet once, junior world champion twice. Those are legit credentials. So his approach toward international wrestling hasn't changed. It's become the focus now, the focus. Before it was one of the focuses. Didn't wrestle a lot internationally because of his, history when he was in college, etc. And, if you fast forward to where he is now, I think he will tell you that he prefers international wrestling. And I think he would tell you that he prefers international wrestling over collegiate, even when he was a collegiate wrestler. Am I right or not? All right. So he just walked in the room here, and I'm not speaking for him. Mm-hmm. So his approach hasn't changed. He's always been a high-level competitor with his eye on the highest level. And now we have an opportunity to watch him in Coralville and a build match. It's like a heavyweight, not heavyweight, it's like a boxing championship of the world bout. It's one match for the bragging rights. And it's what needs to happen more in wrestling. And you know what? It's happening right here in Wrestletown, USA.
Yeah, we forgot to ask you about the love bag. I mean, how cool is that event gonna be, do you think?
That's great. Are you on media here? You should be on media. You could ask him about it. It's
No,
2
he's
weeks
saying
from tomorrow.
okay, yeah, I know it's coming up.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that's why you were asking.
Well, that was one of the reasons, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, come up here and stand, and then I can go watch practice.
Well, you have another opportunity here this weekend. What's key for you kind of going forward and trying to take advantage of those opportunities?
I mean, it's kind of the same every match for me. It's wrestle my match. So I think if I can wrestle my match, get to where I want to be, my ties, wrestle my pace. I think I have a good shot against anybody. So it's more focusing on where I need to be and taking advantage of that, I would say.
We're getting down now the last few weeks here. What is it like in the room right now? Is it? I mean, can you kind of feel that? Okay, this is getting close to the end now.
Um, yes and no, I guess. I mean, to me, I kind of want to approach every day the same. It's get better every day. So I mean, a lot of it's so. I mean, from an approach standpoint, it's the same for me. Like every day, I'm trying to get better. And then I guess this time of the year, I mean, the only thing that's different is sometimes things get a little more personalized, stuff like that. But to me, it's I come in every day trying to get better. So I mean, the approach never really changes. Just towards the end of the year, like just sharpen up and get ready to go.
Mhm. Tom talks about putting up points in bushelfuls. Is that really kind of the mindset here now this weekend, especially?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's important, especially for me. There's been some matches where I haven't scored like I wanted to, so and I know what my scoring ability looks like and how capable I am to score a lot of points. So, I mean, that is a point of emphasis for the whole team, and I take that, and I want to make that a point in my wrestling too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. You grew up halfway between Minneapolis and Iowa City. What's your sense of this rivalry going back to your childhood and today?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's closer from where I grew up to Minneapolis than it is to here. So, I I went to a couple duels there. After I committed, I went to a duel there with in Minnesota with Kennedy and stuff. It was Young had that pretty crazy throw. I went to it was that match. So um, the Iowa Minnesota rivalry has always been interesting to me because I've been a diehard Hawk fan. So it's I can't wait to get out there and go. I've wrestled in Minnesota like the extra match thing my freshman year when COVID was going on. So this one is for real this time, I guess. So I'm really excited to do that and be a part of that rivalry. And I know I'm sure Kennedy is too. So
You've dealt with a little bit of adversity, how have you become stronger or just how has that, maybe formed you a little bit dealing with that and coming through the other side?
yeah, I mean, I guess there's adversity, I guess, for everybody. And for me, I don't know if I've been injured a few times and whatnot and things like that, but I don't even necessarily look at it that way. Like I think the response is just something. It's just something I do. Like I don't have to think about it. It's just how I was raised. First of all, how I was brought up through Seabolt Wrestling Academy and all that, and now here, like if anything gets thrown your way, it's you weather it, you respond to it, and you keep moving forward. That's kind of my mentality.
Another top 10 opponent for this team, what's going to be key going up to Minneapolis and coming away with another win?
Just wrestling my match, scoring one set of points at a time and, just continuing to score from there. I have a lot of experience with this opponent. I've wrestled him a couple times, so, I know what I need to do and I know what it is going to take to get it done. And, I just got to wrestle my match at the end of the day.
Being familiar like that, is that is that positive, or negative, or is each match different?
Yeah. I mean, it could be both, but yeah, I mean, each match is different and you can't rely too much on what happened last time and expect it to be the same. So yeah, I think it's just each match can be different and just gonna go out there and do the only thing I know how to do and is wrestle tough.
Tom talked about hitting on all cylinders. I mean, is that really kind of the motto this week to get going now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crunch time now. We're getting close, and if there's any time to be doing our best wrestling, now's the time.
Anything change at this point of the year? We're getting closer to the postseason. Are things kind of focused more on just technique instead of conditioning already set, or is it still full go until you get past the next couple weeks in regular season competition?
I mean, I wouldn't say too much changes, right? Like, we started off good. You don't want to change too much, but yeah. I mean, there's a couple things that you might want to hone in on coming down to postseason, but for the most part, just doing the same thing.
When you were at North Dakota State, did you wrestle at Minnesota?
I did not. So this will be my first time going to Minnesota.
Are you expecting a little bit of a beehive? Because sometimes, especially with this border rivalry, it can be a pretty hostile atmosphere. Are you expecting something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I never really think about like what the atmosphere is going to be like. Once you step on the mat, it's like tunnel vision. It's just me and my opponent, and I don't really let the outside environment bother me at all.
What would this last win mean for you overseas in on an international level?
It was good. I mean, I think that competing more is to my benefit as always. We've always agreed with that. I mean, my path last year competing, as almost every month I was competing, and it's kind of similar to that. That's why we had this match lined up just in case there were not a tournament or something to go to. Plus, I'm the one that wanted this match just because he's hyped right now. He just dominated everybody. And as a competitor, I want to wrestle the best guys in the world, and he's the weight above me. And I thought it'd be awesome for fans to watch. Hopefully someone can go out there and give him a match. So
You're doing it here.
yeah, it's in Corvo, which is cool. Well, he's in America. I knew he was in America. He gave interviews and he's training over at Penn State, and I knew that he's already here in America. He's already training. It's an opportunity for him to make money as well, because wrestling in other countries, it's different than America right now. I think there's more opportunities to make money in America than there's ever been as an athlete. So if you're successful, then you can continue competing. And I think that in Japan, a lot of times they struggle getting to know those guys. After like they win one, it's like hard to continue to keep going. Like my friend Takuto Toguro, he won the Olympics in Tokyo, and he was kind of like, well, now what, So he's still competing now, which is awesome. So. And he's actually going to come visit here. He'll be here to watch the match, which is pretty cool. So I think that it's good for everything. I think everything it insinuates is good. So
much does wrestling lead events like this and highlight its top talent?
Some of the best matches I ever watched were Tom and Terry wrestling #1 Russian or something, and Team USA versus Russia. The problem with it now is that people ask for too much money, and it's hard to get all those 10 Olympic or World Olympic athletes in one dual meet, because they're all asking for a absorbent amount of money that isn't going to bring the creator of the match any money. But back then they just said, hey, this is it. You're gonna wrestle. This is what you're getting paid. You do it. Boom. You go to Russia and wrestle. I think we need more of that. I mean, obviously there are things happening in the world that we can't help, which is why there wasn't any Russians at the Olympics and whatnot. But I even stated a bunch of times, and I've seen Russian media post it, that if I won the Olympics, then I would wrestle Yugoyev in a match. And that I stand by that 100%. Had I taken gold into this over, I would have asked to wrestle him. Obviously, I mean, I'd still wrestle him if he wanted to, but so I'm all for it. I'm all for growing the sport and wrestling anyone. If they want to put on a show, and then I'm ready for it. So
now, if I remember right, when you were on Full Wrestling, you talked about crossing paths with him when you're in Japan,
Mhm.
And then getting to train with him a little bit, or he trained with
yeah. Well,
or getting to know him a little.
Well, it's funny because I went there just to watch practice, really, and they kept asking me to wrestle, just because like they're very respectful. They know that I was good in the past in freestyle, and they're like, we world champion, like the junior, little kid world championship, right? And I was like, sure, I'll put my shoes on. So, but in Japan, you switch partners a bunch, so everyone was trying to wrestle me, the whole room. I mean, every weight class, right? And I'm out of shape. It's like I'm like 2 months off. I just lost at nationals, so like I was like in a bad place. I did not want anything to do with like wrestling, but like it was fun, like it was cool. But and I kept trying to wrestle their coach, who beat Gilman in the world finals. So because I'm like, he's a world champ, I want to feel him, and he kept going, no, he's better than me, he's better. And I'm going, no, you're world champ, he's not better than you. No, he's better. He kept saying that. He kept pointing to Ono, and at the time, obviously nobody knows who Ono is, right? And I ended up wrestling with him a little bit for it was like a 3-minute go, and I remember going, that guy was pretty dang good, and then I saw him in the bracket, with Vito and everyone. I was like, they may be ready to go. That guy's legit. So yeah, so then I always wanted an opportunity to wrestle in a real match, but they kept trying to get me to wrestle in a match, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm good, So now there's a chance to wrestle. So now we get to wrestle for everybody to watch.